What's up, guys, and welcome back to my garage. If you're enjoying this series, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe. If you haven't already, it would be greatly appreciated. In the last episode, we finished our flip on the Bart shell that we had left over after previously removing this V8 engine from it, and now we're sitting at 26,000 buckaroonies in the bank account. So the game plan for today is we're going to spend a little bit of that money on the El Camino. Yes, it does have a V8 in it. It looks pretty good, but there's so much more that we can do. Now, I don't really understand how to properly use the blower, supercharger kit, or any of the blower supercharger accessories, but that's precisely what we're going to figure out today together. But before we really get her going, I'm noticing our hunger and our thirst are pretty bad, so we're going to head just across the street, grab 4 of those, maybe 3 bottles of water, and we'll head back across the street to the garage so we can get started. It's going to take me a little while, I think, just to kind of go through the catalog and really sort out what additional stuff we could actually buy for this V8 engine. But let's get it going. So we have a Jesse with a V8 engine. If we go to engine and just scroll all the way down to the bottom, this is where a lot of those blower and blower accessories are located. So obviously we're going to need a new intake manifold. We might be wasting a little bit of money today, too, just trying to sort of figure out how all of this actually works. But I think we will need this intake manifold. I think we'll likely need the scoop for the blower. Probably the belt, the blower itself, almost $1,000. Wait, what's this? Oh, gearbox for $1,000 as well. There's also a like a 6-barrel intake manifold. That's for a different carburetor. Do we need this carburetor then, you think? I'm pretty sure we'll need, yeah, the blower pulley, because this belt has to attach to something, so it can also attach to the blower. Should also be mentioned, I know nothing about superchargers. Absolutely nothing. But the blower air filter, I'm pretty sure you could do the scoop or the filter. Maybe we might end up coming back to that. Should we get different cylinder head covers? Yeah, what the heck. Let's go ahead and do it. Buy both of those, $110 a pop. And then I don't think that there should be anything else that we would need for the blower. But if there is, we can always come right back to the parts catalog and just buy whatever else that there may be. So let's try to figure out assembly on this real quick. Oh, I didn't buy the other carburetor, which we will probably need, but I'm guessing that sits on there. Carburetor on top, and then this scoop on top of the carb. So $816 later, we've got that. And that should mount up to there. This should mount up to there. Do you think the air filter could still fit inside the scoop? I'm pretty sure that defeats the whole purpose of getting the scoop in the first place, but let's try it out. Let's try that without it. And that doesn't work at all. What about with the scoop? Okay. Okay, so that's what we needed. Now that's our whole complete assembly, apart from the additional crankshaft pulley that we're going to have to add. I guess we'll be replacing the existing one with this, and then we'll add the belts to tie it all together. Dude, I'm excited. I'm really excited. You know what? If we're gonna be upgrading this engine, we might as well go all out. Am I right? Like, let's get the performance cylinder head right here for the left and the right side, and then we could go 5-speed gearbox while we're at it. I really wish that there was a 6-speed option, and maybe there is. I just haven't found it yet. But I think this will make things go even better. And truthfully, we probably should have just done all of this from the get-go, like when we were going through with the swap in the first place. But let's grab our wrench now. And we've just got to disassemble it a little bit. But I do think I'll try to like leave everything here in the engine bay rather than, you know, putting it on the engine stand. How am I just now realizing, after all of the swaps that we've done, all of the work that we've done here in my garage, how am I just now realizing that transmission removal and reinstall could be so much easier? Like, we only have to remove the 2 bolts here on the transmission support brace. You don't have to remove the whole bracket, and you can just leave the drive shaft bolted up at the rear and unbolt it from the front. Like, it's really that simple. Again, I don't know why it took me so long to actually realize that. But everything should be now taken apart in the engine bay, and we've got everything taken care of underneath of the vehicle. So if we lower it back down, I think we're just about ready to start reassembly. I've already got the head gaskets in place, so we're ready to go there. Let's start with our upgraded or performance cylinder heads right here. We need our rockers, and then we can get them dropped in. I guess it probably wouldn't hurt to also install our spark plugs before we actually get the cylinder heads bolted up. We'll take care of our starter too. That's the one that we snagged off of the 4-speed. Also, I forgot to mention, I do plan on keeping all of these parts since we did just purchase them, you know, a few episodes back. I don't want to just waste our money and dispose of them or even give them to the pawn shop guy. Instead, I think I will keep them either on the shelves in here, or we can keep them in the big garage just behind the shop. But I want to hang on to them. That way, if we do end up ever wanting to sell this vehicle, we don't have to sell it with the whole supercharger and blower kit assembly all already bolted up. We could then just rip all of that off and reinstall how it was from the factory. As you guys would have just seen, I decided to also bolt up the cylinder head covers. Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake because we have head bolts underneath the cover. Oh my god, dude, I'm an absolute buffoon. That's what happens when you try to speed things along and kind of jump the gun a little bit. Gotta do things in order, follow proper procedure, you know, all that type of stuff. So let's get our cylinder heads finally mated to the engine block. And now we can grab our covers and get these installed. These actually do look a lot nicer, like a heck of a lot nicer than our original orange ones. That still can't confirm if you can respray them or not. I mean, without mods, of course. But yeah, they're a little too orange, a little too tacky looking for my taste. Now we can take the thermostat housing that we had before and get it bolted up to our new intake manifold. This one, again, specific to the blower. I don't think you'd have a very good time, a very easy time installing this. It actually looks a little weird. Maybe it's fine. It almost doesn't look like it's properly covering the intake holes, I guess, from the cylinder head, like the intake ports, you know what I'm saying? We'll get it bolted up. It's probably fine. And since we've already gone through and tightened up the spark plugs, we can just get the spark plug wires reinstalled, no problem. Grab our wrench again, and I think I want to go for the crankshaft blower pulley next, just so we can make sure that's good to go before we actually like get the whole blower assembly installed. So now we've got this. Just 4 bolts. I feel like there should probably be a gasket in between these 2 pieces, but obviously not. Otherwise, we would have probably had to add one. Then we can grab our carburetors. Dual carb setup now. Before, we just had a single carb. Toss on the scoop. Oh, you know what else? We might not be able to run a hood. Or maybe we might not be able to run this hood. Hopefully there is a different one that we could maybe try out. One with like a little cutout in it just for that scoop. So I'm going to unfasten the hood. We're just going to leave it right over here for safekeeping. And I really wish I would have done that for our scoop air filter. I'm pretty sure I lost it, unless it like clipped itself through the wall and is now just on the back side of the shop, I guess. It's not there either. Do I really need to buy a new one of those? Let me just make sure really quick that it's not like underneath some of the original V8 parts. It doesn't look like it. So, unfortunately, we will have to buy another one. Another 78 bucks down the drain. But we probably need this thing. I don't know that we need it for sure. It's just kind of a guess. So we'll get that fastened. I didn't see if there was any way to actually fasten the blower, though I suppose there probably should be, right? At least 2 bolts. Oh yeah, right here, up in the front. That's gonna be 1. Maybe there might be another one around the backside. Gotta do some weird clipping things just to be able to tighten those up. But I think that's all we need to do top side. Now we're probably ready to install this belt. So we'll get that tossed on there. And then we will still need the original accessory belt as well. The blower belt that we just installed is specific to the blower. That's just so we can get that whole assembly actually rotating off of the crank. What am I forgetting? Oh, exhaust. Duh. Yeah, we might want that. Otherwise it could be a little loud. And lastly, we just have to grab our new 5-speed gearbox. 2 bolts there. Again, the 3 bolts just at the front of the drive shaft. We can lower it back down, get the 4 bolts on the top of the transmission. And that's it. I mean, she's all together. We will still have to get a new hood, and obviously we're still planning on respraying the thing. But I just want to hear how it sounds. I want to know that it works for sure. Oh, hang on. Upper radiator hose, that definitely is going to need tightened. And then we'll probably have to top up the fluids again. Unfortunately, we'll have a look at the oil first. That's actually fine, even though we did disassemble a good majority of the engine. Thankfully, the game is registering. We only removed the heads. You know, we didn't actually touch the bottom end or the oil pan whatsoever. Our radiator's got a little bit of coolant in there. Thankfully, we do already have a bottle close by, so we don't have to run all across the street or all the way across the street just to grab another one of those. Hopefully this goes by pretty quick. Brake fluid looks good, so I think we're about ready to turn the key, and we'll see what this thing is actually gonna sound like. I hope it really just ran out on me. It really just ran out on me. Okay, guess we can't escape crossing the street, can we? We're on to our 3rd bottle of coolant. If this, okay, it does look like the level's starting to rise, but if this didn't do it, dude, there had to be a leak somewhere, I would think. Toss our cap back on, and then I just remembered I don't think I tightened one of the bolts on the starter. That would be like its power wire. So let's see if we can get that done. There we go. All right, that should be it. Should be. Doesn't mean it is for sure. Got to get these hoist arms out of here real quick, and we can hop in and turn it over for the very first time. I hope it sounds cool. I hope it sounds different. You know, like I don't want it to sound exactly the same. I'm expecting it when we rev to have some sort of a supercharger whine. You know, maybe. It sounds like it wants to. You know, I should probably save just in case something really bad happens. You never know. I might have forgot to bolt something up or line something up. I don't know. Something bad though could potentially happen. But I just want to hear how it actually sounds. Okay, a different sort of tone than I was expecting, I will admit. And that might, again, just be because I didn't hook it all up right or something along those lines. Careful through there. I'm not trying to damage this thing, even though we did save. It feels definitely like it has more power. Let me bring it out real quick. Careful. Chill. Let me bring it out real quick, though, to the super long bridge that we have over here. so we can just really lay into it. Also might want to turn on our lights. But we've got a 5-speed transmission on old girl now. Yeah, it's moving. It is definitely moving, dude. And the exhaust note sounds pretty nice. But that supercharger whine, it almost sounds a little cartoony. You know what I'm saying? But I love it, dude. I absolutely love it. This car would probably rip at the drag strip. Maybe that's something else that we'll have to do. I don't know if we'll have time to do it today or not, but that might be something else for us to try out. Finally, I did take a trip out to the drag strip one time. I'm trying to make sure I don't crash here. I did take a trip out there one time, but I couldn't figure out how to actually initiate the drag race. But somebody said all I needed to do was press enter like near a sign or something. So we know it works. That's great. But now we've got to get us a new hood that'll actually hopefully fit over the hood scoop that we have there for our air filter, and then we need a new color. I was kind of thinking maybe a gray. Maybe like a really light gray, sort of like Audi's Nardo gray. I know I've done this in the past in other car-related games. I just really like that color. So I think that might be what we try on this thing. But let me try to find a hood first, and then we'll worry about that. Here we go. Hood for the blower, $243.80. But that does appear as though it'll fit on there perfectly fine. And then we just need our wrench so we can get 2 bolts on this. Come on, just work with me, all right? Just work with me here. You were doing so well, and then I grabbed the wrench, and all of a sudden you're wigging out on me. We've got 2 bolts there on that hood hinge, and 2 bolts over here on this one. Got it. But look at that, dude. It does fit. Fits perfect. Now then, moving on to paint, we'll head on in here under color, and we're looking for 686A6C. That's going to be sort of the hex value for Nardo Gray. And then I'm going to grab maybe 3 cans just to play it safe. Now, the original hood, as I mentioned, I do plan on keeping all the original V8 stuff. That way, again, if we do want to sell it, I keep saying again. Why is it that every Friday video, I just can't speak? Words just aren't really coming to me. But we're planning on keeping this stuff so that if we do end up ever wanting to sell it, we can just throw all the original OEM stuff back on, including the hood. Obviously, if we get rid of the big blower system, we're just going to have a big hole in the hood, and that's not going to look great for resale. So I do think I'll probably respray the original hood. That way we don't have to do it later, and then we can start respraying the whole vehicle. We'll see what it's going to look like after it's got a couple of coats of paint on it. No, but really though, dude, I mean, Friday recordings, for one reason or another, I just really struggle to speak. I don't know if it's because I'm looking forward to the weekend, or if I've just done too much talking throughout the week. Though this week I've only done, as you guys would have seen, 3 uploads instead of the usual 5 that we do Monday through Friday. And that's because I just can't find games that I genuinely want to play. Like, My Garage is one of the few that I genuinely do want to play right now. But I'm really having a hard time finding other games, maybe even games similar to this one, that I really want to jump into. So if you guys have any suggestions whatsoever, make sure you leave them down in the comments, or alternatively, you can leave them on the Discord under game suggestions. We've got a whole little channel there dedicated to it. Why did I grab this? Oh, that's right. These arches. I want to grab the arch extensions here. I think that's what they're called. And just remove them. That way we have a little bit easier time respraying.
A few moments later.
Is that actually all the panels sprayed already? Dude, that didn't take near as long as I expected it would. But I did end up using 7 cans of paint instead of the initial 3 that we had purchased. I think it turned out absolutely fantastic. Oh, we need to change the color still. 686A6C? That sounds right. Okay, so change the color to that now. 19,920 $3. Overall condition is 4 stars, though. Oh, right. We still kind of have both of the bumpers off, all the trim and everything has been taken off. It would be really cool if we could respray all of this like black or something. I just feel like that would look quite a bit nicer, better contrast, you know, with the lighter gray color. Let's try it. Let's try it. I don't think it's a possibility. I really don't. But we might as well give it a shot. And maybe that's what like the paint pens are for. Maybe you're able to yeah, this is not going to work. But let's get the rest of this thing reassembled, and hopefully we'll actually have 5-star overall condition instead of the measly 4 that we have right now. Though keep in mind, we're not trying to sell this thing or flip this thing. This is a build for us to keep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get a good look at it now, you guys. Now that all the trim's back on, that's looking real nice. But do we have 5-star overall condition? We do. $21,000 vehicle right here. And it's also supercharged now, which is pretty sick. What's our fitment looking like though? I haven't even really paid attention to it. It's not great. It is not great at all. I really wish also we could, you know, add wider rims and tires, like without mods, add wider rims and tires to these vehicles. I think that would help a ton, though we do have spacers at the store. We'll have to go there in the morning since it is nighttime and pick some of those up. Maybe we can dial in our fitment just a little bit more. You think this thing could do a burnout? I mean, it can, but it doesn't really love it. Maybe if we had like a line lock, like a brake line lock, we could lock out the rear brakes and just use the pedal for the front ones. That might work. I'm just glad we actually get to drive a vehicle over here for once. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Do you need anything?
I do, actually. I need some spacers, though I'm not really sure what size I need. Oh, okay, they get quite a bit larger down here. 150 millimeters, 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 probably. The gap in the rear is just enormous. The front, I don't think we'll really need too much more of a spacer there. You know, I don't want it to get in the way of the fender whatsoever. So let's try 2 150s in the rear. If that's maybe too much, a little excessive, we'll try the 2 100s. And then let's get 2 50s and maybe 2 20s for the front. Alrighty, now that we've got the vehicle up on the hoist once again, I'm gonna unfasten all the lugs from this front rim. We'll just drop that on the ground for the time being. And then let's grab this 20 mil spacer. Doesn't look like we have to do any additional fastening for that. Just put the wheel on top of it. Get all 5 of those lugs refastened. And the wheel is a bit turned at the moment, but I think that is considerably better. Yeah, considerably better than it was. So we just have to do the exact same thing now on the driver's side, and then we can move to the rear. Dude, the rear spacers are something else. Look at these 150s. They're absolutely massive. I'm kind of thinking maybe the 100 millimeter is going to be the move there. But you never know. Okay, so the 100 millimeter spacers do look a little funny. Not gonna lie. I haven't tried the 50s yet, but I kind of wish that there was like a 75, you know, somewhere in between 50 to 100. But just with the skinniest tire on here, it looks a little ridiculous. But I haven't even fastened that thing yet. I just chucked on the 100 mil spacer just to sort of see what it would look like. So let's try the 50. I think this is probably going to be the sweet spot. Again, not going to bolt it up. Oh yeah, that is so much better. So much better. We had like 2 to 3 inches of a gap in there before. And now, basically nothing. Let's go ahead and roll it on out into the sunlight. Careful. Please don't hit that wall. Okay, we're good. Didn't realize that the wheel was just slightly turned. But I wanted to get it pushed outside just so we could really take in the fitment now. It looks so much better. Not to mention the supercharger blower on it now. That's obviously pretty sweet. But spacers, like wheel spacers, I remember during our initial playthrough of My Garage, that was one of the things that I really, really wish that the game had, and now it does. So I'm feeling pretty good about this thing. I don't know if this is like the final form, like the final iteration of the El Camino, but for right now, I think we'll just leave it at that. So I do think that's where we're going to wind things down at for today. But once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.